Good morning and welcome back to another episode of the Sports Zone. It is Wednesday, October 17th. I'm your host, David Smith.
I'm Zach Collins.
And we're going to get right into the PV Sports News. Upcoming games, the PV women's soccer team will face Alcorn State on Friday at Alcorn. Let's show some support through Twitter, social media, all that, show some love. Yeah. Let's go out with the win. The women's golf team opens up at Louisiana Monroe today, and good luck to you guys.
Shout out Alexia.
The women's volleyball team will play Alabama A&M 12:30 this Friday.
Where?
PV.
Okay. So make sure everybody comes out and supports our Lady Panthers this weekend.
Yes, sir. We're going to get right to the MLB news. Zach, man, Astros didn't come out with one last night. They lost 8-2, grand slam by Jackie Bradley, opened it up at the top of the 8th inning. Disappointing loss, unfortunately. It looks like the Astros finally found their match. What you think?
With them finding it looks like they're starting to get into it's sluggish, like their offense isn't performing the way they need to be. And I think with how long they played last year, that's starting to affect them this year because in essence, the baseball season is already 162 games.
And then they only really get like a month break.
So for you to play a full season all the way to the World Series last year and then turn around and have to play another long season again, I think that's starting to wear on their bodies because you can't play that long anyway.
I understand that, but once you're in like a routine of playing baseball, it's kind of hard to get out of it. So even though like when the season's over, they're always playing like fall ball overseas or in like the Dominican League or something like that.
But that's never as competitive as, let's say, the playoffs is.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
That takes a toll on you, and also mentally because you're in a different mindset when you're playing against, let's say, people you grew up with versus somebody that cannot like take money out of your pocket in a sense. So that's a different type of mentality they take within these games, and I think that's just a draining process. You can see the same thing happening with the Eagles. They won the Super Bowl last year, but they got off to a kind of rocky start. Yeah. So whenever you have those long, it's a difference between like you can see like LeBron, he's used to going to the finals, so he gets his teams prepared. But when this is your first time in a long time, your team not used to going back to back. So they have to find somebody on their team to step up and tell them like, we have to be able to handle this situation. And I think if they find that, they'll be able to bounce back because they do have the talent to win it all again.
Right. They've been facing injuries all year with Altuve, whether it's Carlos Correa or Josh Reddick. So they really haven't been able to play as a team throughout the whole year. So even some more interesting news about the Astros, they were accused of cheating in game 1. They have like a special photographer who's been trying to like be in the opposing team's dugouts, get pictures of like the signs and stuff so they could study
the type of pitches that's coming or like?
Nah, just like the signs that's being called in.
Okay. So they was basically being the Patriots in a sense.
Yeah, in a sense. But
if you're not cheating, you're not trying, honestly.
No, that ain't true.
Yes, it's true.
Why you say that?
You always have to find an advantage. I told you, they play a lot of games, so you're going to eventually do the same things over and over.
Right.
So you have to find a point in some way. That's not cheating as far as like a heavy or bad or something like, you know how they used to put the thing on their hand?
The pine tar?
Yeah.
That's not cheating to me.
Why is that not cheating?
Because even though they say it's cheating if pitchers put pine tar on their arms and stuff, but if you look at it from like a baseball player's perspective, that's a safety hazard. Like
pine tar is?
No, just like when a ball is slick and everything, you got a guy throwing 100 miles per hour. That ball get away from you, it's going at your head. What you gonna do?
Duck.
You ain't even got time to duck, to be honest.
True.
That's why I think they should give more leeway, at least on like pine tar rules, unless it's like on the bat or something, because that ball be jumping off the bat.
With the tar?
Yeah. But let's go into the Dodgers and Brewers. Long game last night. They went into extra innings, 13 innings to be exact. Cody Bellinger put the game away with a walk-off single. Dodgers won 2-1. I still have faith in the Brewers. Their bullpen is just too strong, pretty much. They've been able to close off the Dodgers throughout the whole series.
So go into the altercation in the 10th inning about at first base.
Yeah, Manny Machado, he tried to, I wouldn't say he tried to trip the first baseman, but it definitely looked like he stuck his leg out there. which was really uncalled for. He's been in the news a lot lately. It was what, 2 days ago where he said it was something about him hustling.
Yeah.
He was talking about how it's just not his thing.
Hustling, like giving effort?
Yeah, like giving a lot of effort. And coming from Baltimore, it looked like he showed a lot more effort than he did
while playing in Baltimore?
Yeah, before he got traded halfway through the season with the Dodgers.
Okay.
And after he went to LA, it's just like he hasn't even produced that well for him to be saying all that.
You think he doesn't like LA?
No, I think he loves LA. I think he got too comfortable in LA.
Okay, so
he's had a okay postseason, but it's not like
it's not where it needs to be.
Yeah, the way he's been playing for like the past couple of years. When he first came in, he was going uphill, you know, MVP talks and all that. But then ever since, he just got like all the accolades and stuff, like top defensive player, consistent numbers, hitting wise. He just hasn't been the same.
So that goes back to what I told you about the Astros. There, when you're not used to success,
right?
You get complacent. And you're not understanding the only way you keep success is doing what you did before you had the success, and that's the thing. Like, you have to keep going. You can't get complacent with what's going on.
That makes sense. We're about to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to touch on the NFL draft, the NFL football games coming up, and a couple of NBA games that's coming up. So we'll be right back.
At Prairie View A&M University, we've been igniting passion in students for more than 140 years. It's about inspiration. It's about global influence. It's about self-expression and individuality. It's about trailblazing a path of excellence. It's about engaging in the greater community. Above all, it's about helping you realize your dreams. Ignite your passion. Experience Prairie View A&M University.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Sports Zone. We're going to get right into the NFL. The Packers and 49ers played this past Monday. Clutch Aaron Rodgers.
He shows you why he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
It seemed like he was watching the show. To be honest, we had discussed that he wasn't slacking, but
it's not slacking. It's the organization around him slacking. They're not giving him the pieces he needs in order for him to be in a Super Bowl contention.
Right.
And that's a problem when you have, as he showed Monday night, probably the best talented quarterback in the NFL. He may not lead the best, or he may not have the best weapons around him, but as far as just purely talent, he has the best arm, best feet work. And for him to just once again, Monday night, that he's
with the injured knee still.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you what you have in Aaron Rodgers, and for the fact that the Packers organization hasn't given him a defense around him, or even given him somebody outside of Devontae Adams. They let
Randall Cobb,
he hasn't been producing since like 2015 at the level that he needs him to be. And I was thinking of Jordy Nelson, how they let Jordy Nelson go in the summer. He didn't like that move by the general manager at all. So that for them to not give him what he wants, and he's the staple within their organization, that tells you what their focus is.
Right.
They're not one of the organizations that spends a lot of money, whether it be in the running backs. They only worry about the O-line, which has been suspect at times this season. Besides the player, a couple of people on their line, they haven't played as a solid five together, and that is something that needs work along with their defense. So I think if they want to have another Super Bowl, because he already has one, but to cement your status, you need more than one. And I feel like the front office definitely needs to make changes.
Speaking of the front office, the Giants owner called out Odell Beckham, saying he needs to stop listening to others, pretty much, and make plays.
But as a receiver,
you can't make plays if you're a quarterback.
You're the third. Like, the offense has to block.
Right.
The quarterback has to get the ball. Then the quarterback has to
throw the ball. Right.
Now, if your quarterback can't throw you the ball, as like Eli Manning can't throw at this point in his career,
right,
that's a problem. So therefore, Odell has a right to make these, claims and attack his quarterback.
Right.
But he's not doing it maliciously. I think he's
just like
he's
you need to
passionate.
step up.
He like whenever Odell was having a good season, but he was having off the field issues,
Mm-hmm.
Eli would never talk to him. Eli would make slick comments within the media.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, while Odell is the one that's in his prime and he's the one that's playing good, he's going to make his comments within the media the same way Eli Manning did.
Right.
So Eli Manning can't get in his feelings about it. He has to either step up or let Davis Webb play. But Davis Webb is not ready to be an NFL quarterback yet.
So
he's one of those spread quarterbacks.
right,
He
move
played
around
at
the
Tech.
pocket. Yeah.
He went to Cal. He had solid seasons in both places, but you have to be able to read defenses, and I
Right.
don't think Davis Webb has that yet.
So speaking of Odell Beckham, he signed that big contract. Do you think he needs to take more of a leadership role, or
See, and that's where we're at
Right.
here. People always think leadership role is what we do, talk.
mm-hmm.
Leadership role is not that. Leadership role is you being on time in your meetings, your workouts, you being first in your races at the end of practice when you're doing conditioning. Being a leader is not just me telling you, hey Davis, do this, hey Davis, do that.
Right.
No, because I won't respect you if you telling me to do
Right.
this and you're not doing that yourself.
Right.
And that's not what a leader is. So we don't see the insides of every day at practice. We don't see what Odell does. All we see is
Right.
a couple one-hand catches, Odell yelling on the sideline, mad that he didn't get it played, or Eli didn't throw him the ball correctly. So we don't know how he is within practice. So for me, I'm not going to say that we can't attack his leadership just yet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other thing I tell our leaders on our team is that you have to watch what you're doing, because whatever you do, the people around you will become the same thing.
Right.
So like, if you're gonna throw your helmet or fight the
Yeah,
goal net,
because
then
Sterling Shepard
Sterling
did the
Shepard
same
does the
thing.
same
Yeah,
thing.
he blew out on
because
the sideline.
Odell did it.
Right.
Nobody checked Odell about it. They just go pat Odell, tell him to calm down. That's the thing that I tell our leaders is that if you're gonna lead our team,
Right.
you're gonna have to
Watch what you do.
You gotta control
yeah.
it.
You gotta remember that there's a spotlight on you all
like
the time.
everybody pays attention. So
Right.
if they think, oh, he did it, I can do it. No,
Right.
he only does that because he is the leader. But he has to understand in his role that everybody is paying attention. So
Right.
that's the thing we've been talking about this week is leadership.
Right. The Broncos and Arizona Cardinals play tomorrow. What can you expect from that game?
Von Miller probably is going to have 3 sacks.
3 sacks?
I would say that the Arizona offensive line is terrible, to say the least. They have a rookie quarterback. He's going to be taking too long on his reads. Although him and the kid from A&M are starting to gel as far as gaining their chemistry. That's going to be a dynamic duo later on within their careers once they get into the NFL and they understand how to play. And David Johnson becomes a credible running back because
He's really been a sleeper.
he was 2 years ago. He was an MVP candidate.
Right.
So he has the talent, but once you get injury riddled, that starts to hurt your career. So I think once he bounces back from those, I think he'll be fine. And they have the opportunity, they have the weapons surrounding him.
Right.
Josh Rosen, in order for him to be good, but not at this stage of his career. He's young.
He still has Larry Fitzgerald.
But Larry
He's
Fitzgerald,
had a quiet year, but it's not like he's not producing though.
No, it's not the thing. It's not about producing. It's about the people up front, and that's where games start and end is in the trenches. So they need to get better offensive line play, or else they're going to end up back to what we talk about in a segment or two.
Speaking of receivers, top receivers, here's a top 5 leading receiver yards. You got Thielman from Minnesota Vikings. Thielen, my fault.
You good.
Julio Jones. You got DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill, and then Juju Smith.
What's more surprising to you?
Honestly, I want to say Thielen, but it's not surprising, but then it is, because you always had that one receiver. To me, he reminds me of like a Julian Edelman or Wes Welker type player.
See, but he doesn't. See, you might think of that because, let's be honest.
Skin color?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He plays the outside receiver.
Right.
And he's a fade ball type of guy. Like, he runs his routes. Him and Stephon work well together. Stephon is the big explosive guy on their offense, and he's more technical. Well, they both run good routes, but he's possession receiver. There we go. So, you know his story. He came from D2 school, $500 scholarship.
Yep.
He was working a normal job. Then he just got called to the Vikings just
Right.
on a whim. And then now he's NFL leading yards. So he's worked for everything he's gotten. Now, that doesn't surprise me because they actually have
A good quarterback.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
So he's able to spread the ball around and lead his team to victory. So he's a major key part of that.
So do you think the Vikings gonna go back to the playoffs?
The Vikings will definitely be in the playoffs. As far as championship, they haven't been playing at the.
That they love, they need to.
Yes, like
Right.
you would think they would exceed their expectations because last year they made it to the conference championship game. They lost, got blew out, but you would think that they would be on the right path because they have top 10 players on their front seven. They have the number one safety, arguably in the league, with Harrison Smith. They have Stephon Diggs, who's a top 10 receiver.
Right.
They have weapons all across the board. They have a solid offensive line. So for them to not, I wanted them to be like the Rams as far as 6-0, 5-1, that type of team.
Right.
And they've had close victories, and they haven't stepped up the way I thought they would. Now the surprising name on that list to me is Juju, because
Really?
Because when you think of Pittsburgh Steelers, you think of
Antonio Brown.
yes, sir.
I mean, he's really been in Antonio Brown's shadow for like ever since he's came in to the league.
But it's not a shadow when Antonio Brown is getting double covered.
Right.
And he's getting.
I mean,
just
he's
winning his
still
one-on-one
getting.
matches. He
Yeah,
gets his
but
one-on-one matches
Antonio Brown's still getting open somehow.
because he's the best receiver in the league.
I don't know.
Who you gonna say better? Number 2? You think DeAndre better?
No, I'm gonna say, to me, it's still Julio Jones.
The thing about Julio is you can't argue if somebody tells you Julio's the number one receiver. He's
Right.
6'4", 4'3". He
Speed,
can jump out of the gym. He
strong.
can throw it anywhere in his catch radius. You see, my favorite catch on Julio is when he snagged it over the kid that used to play for the Patriots. He played with the Titans now.
I don't know
the
what
one
you're
that
talking
benched
about.
him. They benched him in the Super Bowl. I can't think of his name.
I don't
He's a
know.
B2 product. Anyways, but that's my favorite Julio catch. But I can't argue if you want to say Julio's the best receiver. I
Right.
just say Antonio Brown because he does everything Julio does at a smaller stature.
Right.
And that's why I argue for Antonio Brown.
Shout out to the little people. So far the draft order right now is the 49ers with number 1, the Giants, Colts, and Cardinals. I know it's kind of early. The draft is next year, but some of the top prospects like Joey Bosa, Ed Oliver, not too sure Tau. I'm not even gonna try to say his last name.
The quarterback from
Yeah, Alabama.
Okay.
Jalen Hills, Tua.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jalen Hills. You got.
Jalen's still I think they're both going to stay, so they'll probably be out of it. That's the thing I was telling you last week. Even if the Giants pick at 2, there's not a quarterback that just stands out.
Right.
Except for I think there's a senior at Bowie State,
Mm-hmm.
and he's definitely getting NFL attention. He just might not get picked top 5, top
Right,
10.
because of Bowie State.
Obviously, he's a D2 HBCU kid, but he's definitely balling. He won the Walter Payton Award last year, so he's a credible quarterback. In order to be picked, he might get picked on day 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as upcoming draft, I would say Ed Oliver is first pick, but some people are arguing that
Joey Bosa. I mean, not Nick Bosa.
yeah, Joey Bosa, little brother.
Yeah.
that
I don't
he would
know.
get
I
picked
think
first.
personally, I think Nick Bosa is a little bit underneath Ed Oliver. He's had more consistent stats. He's produced all 4 years, 3 years he's been here. 3 years? Yeah. 3 years. So I just think it's kind of like a toss-up.
Between the two, but
Yeah.
it's either way you're going to be picking a player that's going to play for
Right.
your organization for 10 plus years.
Right.
So I would say either one you would go. I would just pick Oliver myself.
Right. Let's go into the NBA now. NBA season started yesterday. 76ers and Celtics.
We blew out the 76ers.
Yeah, but your boy Kyrie didn't play too well. He had 7.7 assists. But Jason Tatum, boy, went off. I've been telling people he's legit.
And there, okay, going into last season, I thought he was coming off the bench. Of course, we all thought Gordon Hayward was going to start and play the majority of the season.
Yeah.
And at the end of the season, I was watching somebody, and they were saying that Jason Tatum is going to end up being the best player on the team. And I looked, and I was like, that's questionable.
Yeah.
But now you see it as him coming into his own.
Yeah.
He's spent a full year within NBA training. He spent the summer with Kobe. And you can see him becoming a man, like, right in front of your eyes.
Right.
Like, where he dropped somebody yesterday, and it just
Oh, yeah.
he just made him look silly. You know,
Right.
like he's going to be the superstar on our team.
Yeah.
And our team is going to be built around him to where these other two guys might end up becoming expendable if we don't want to pay them, such as Kyrie, because we still
I mean,
have.
Kyrie said he was coming back.
I told you,
I
you're not
believe
going to
it.
tell Boston Garden
I believe he's
You're
going to
not
come
gonna
back
tell them that
because you
you're gonna
got
leave.
Kyrie, you got Jaylen Brown, you got
The team is stacked.
yeah. That's pretty much an NBA Finals team right there.
Yes, sir.
It's not really a close second.
Not at all. And we argued that on Tuesday.
Yeah,
With-
Monday.
Well, Monday, because the teams that you think are going to play good, they never pan out. Like,
Right.
we're waiting on the Wizards to finally give us a season where they go on a run.
Right.
Or we're waiting on Kyle Lowry not to choke in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna lead the East in victories, but when it comes to the playoffs, he gets
Right.
swept
Yeah.
back-to-back seasons.
Speaking of teams who haven't showed up, the Trailblazers, what's up with them? They have Damian Lillard, they have CJ McCollum.
And
That's
stop there.
pretty
That's
much.
all. That's all
They got
have.
Wesley Matthews. Dude can
That's-
shoot.
That's the guy with the. That's not the guy with the Odell haircut, is it?
No,
Okay.
but dude can shoot, and pretty much all you need is CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard. That's,
But that's
one of
two.
the best,
But when you're in the West, you need 4 people to score
right?
because the top team in the West has 4 people to score.
They
Yeah.
have 5.
Yeah. Well, he's out right now.
Who?
Who you gonna say? Who's their 5th scorer?
No, who's you gonna say? Who's out?
I was saying Cousins not cleared yet,
Oh man,
and they don't have a center that's just dominant like that.
I don't
Unless
even know
they-
why
you
they
talking
do it
about
with
their
the
Power Five?
Warriors. Yeah,
You talking about the Power 5 lineup where they put
Yeah.
Iggy in? Okay, I got what you're saying. But as far as the West, as far as Trailblazers in the West, they
Mhm.
don't have enough around him,
right.
which is why he's kind of vying to get out of there. Which I don't blame him because that's just going back to the Aaron Rodgers situation. When you're wasting somebody's prime and you're
Mhm.
not willing to help them out, what can you do? And he's in one of those markets that the NBA doesn't want to see them. Like,
Yeah.
they're not.
They're not on TV.
Who
a
from
lot.
Portland is going
Yeah,
to the finals? Like,
You right.
exactly. So we could talk about who played the Warriors and the OKC.
Warriors and Thunder, close game even without Westbrook.
You see Westbrook over there being petty.
Yeah,
With KD airballs a 3 in the
Right.
3rd quarter.
I think they still cool though.
That's the thing. Like, that's what I was going to talk to you about. Is we can be cool outside of basketball.
Right, but on the court,
But on the court, I'm going to eat you alive, and that's his whole mindset.
Right.
Like, he has, they talk about that killer instinct.
Mhm.
Westbrook is through and through, and that as you can see, like the way he drives to the basket, like his whole goal is to not annihilate you, and I don't think he sugarcoats that whether he played with you
Right.
for 9 years or this your first time playing
So,
against him.
who do you think is going to be in the MVP races? I got Westbrook, LeBron, of course. That's just because
He's not
he's
gonna
LeBron.
win.
Yeah, he may not win. He don't. I ain't gonna say he don't deserve it, but
People are used to what he's
Yeah.
doing.
what was I about to say?
You-
KD, James Harden, and then I don't have a 5th one. I need
Okay,
to be
well,
a sleeper.
actually, we can argue about LeBron because with him in the East, we knew he was going to have to carry this team,
yeah,
and now he's going to have to carry
Yeah,
this team.
you're
But
right.
we get to see it
in
against
the
the
West,
West.
yeah,
See, the thing why Westbrook will get a 1 because he still averaged a triple-double last year, and he
Right.
wasn't even in the MVP talks.
right.
James Harden, the thing about the NBA is they always want to find
They
a
want an
new,
offensive player.
yeah, they always want to find a new person to like put on a pedestal.
Right.
It was Curry 2 years, then Westbrook, now it's Harden. Now that I think with LeBron in the West, he has a chance to be the NBA darling. Now he has to lead these young pups to go to a different level that they haven't played before.
Mhm.
But obviously he has the talent to do that. That's why he was brought out West. But I think as far as the the MVP conversation, I think we need to lean towards LeBron with if he
Really?
leads them to 50 victories.
He's
Because,
not going. It's just not going to be him by himself though.
but that's what I'm saying. They're gonna
But when
make a
it
case
comes,
for him
yeah,
to be here.
when it comes down to it, they're going to have to lean on him.
Yes.
Like for certain games, like the Warriors or Thunder.
He's gonna have to take over.
I don't know about take over against the
Who
Thunder.
else is he gonna give the ball to?
Against the Thunder,
Who's
I don't
he
know
gonna give the
about.
ball to?
Bro,
Nobody.
stop sleeping
except
on Brandon
Kuzma.
Ingram.
Brandon
Kuzma,
Ingram has to show me that.
have you not been watching the preseason?
What you just say? Preseason.
The boy is cold.
But we talk about preseason.
Okay, we can talk
We
about
gotta
regular
see.
season.
I need to see him after the All-Star break. I need to see him producing in because he also has injury problems too.
Yeah, that's just because
He's brittle
yeah,
and young.
yeah.
So we gonna see. But like I said, if he leads them to a 50, 55 plus win, season,
right.
he's definitely going to be leading the MVP race because he's going to have 26 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds at least,
Right.
maybe more because he's going to be playing off the ball and he's going to be the main offensive option. So he might average 30 this year.
Who?
LeBron,
LeBron?
because he's playing off the ball. All he got to do is shoot. He's probably the best shooter on their roster. besides outside of the backup, Caldwell Pope. Caldwell Pope can shoot, but outside of that, he's the best.
Caldwell
We'll
Pope?
say the best scoring option.
Oh my goodness.
LeBron's not the best scoring option on the Lakers.
You talking about behind LeBron?
No, Caldwell Pope the best 3-point shooter. But I'm saying
The best scorer is definitely Kyle Kuzma.
over LeBron.
No, outside of LeBron.
No. I'm talking about threes.
Oh, yeah.
His
Kyle
three
Kuzma
is
can shoot.
sketchy. His three is
You
sketchy.
sleep.
But yeah, like I said, we're gonna take LeBron in the MVP race if it's close.
All right.
Sign it up.
We gonna see what you talking about after they play Thursday, right?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, cool. We gonna talk about it Friday. This is all we got. This is a Panther Sports Zone. I'm David Smith.
I'm Zach Collins.
We'll see y'all Friday.